What do wool and hand cream have in common? Well, a sheep's fleece has an oily protective coating, which contains a substance called wool grease. When factories make yarn, they first clean the wool with detergents. The grease is processed into lanolin, a common ingredient in hand creams. Historians believe that people began raising sheep for food and clothing about 10,000 years ago. And around 4000 BC, they started spinning the wool into yarn for weaving fabric. The Romans brought wool production to England in about 50 AD. Woolen fabrics would become the country's chief export for centuries. In 1797, Britain shipped 13 sheep to Australia, starting what would become the largest wool industry in the world today. Wool fabric is durable, wrinkle-proof, and holds its shape well. It absorbs moisture and insulates against heat and cold. That's why wool is ideal for clothing like sweaters and coats. Sheep shearers use power shears, removing the fleece in one piece. They discard any stained or inferior wool and then sort the rest according to the quality of the fibers. This grading is based on length, color, waviness, and fineness. The wool is cleaned with detergents before processing. The wool arrives at the factory in compressed bales. Workers untie them and feed the wool into the opening equipment, whose metal tooth rollers comb out and separate the fibers. From there, the fibers go into the blending room, where air currents mix different grades of wool to get the desired texture. If they'll be weaving a wool blend, they mix the wool fibers with other materials, such as polyester fibers. A thorough blending takes about an hour. An air pipe transports the blended fibers to the next station. On the way, sprayers lubricate them with a mineral oil mixture to make processing easier. The fibers arrive at the carding machine, where they pass through a series of rollers with thin wire teeth. This untangles the fibers and lines them up parallel to each other. This process also removes any pieces of debris caught in the fibers. The carding process produces a smooth, flat sheet called a web. The equipment divides this web into thin, flat strips. These strips go through rub aprons, two rollers that twirl them into thinner, rounded strips called rovings. The rovings wind onto a spool. Rovings look like yarn, but if you pull on them, they simply tear. They haven't been spun, so they have no strength. Each roving goes into a device called a spinning frame. It stretches the roving and spins it tightly, producing wool yarn. The yarn winds onto a bobbin. Spinning gives the yarn strength. Now they can weave it into wool fabric. A fully automated loom does it all. Watch in slow motion as it inserts one strand at a time, crosswise, through stationary lengthwise strands. It's computer programmed to thread in a specific under-over configuration, according to the type of weave. The loom inserts 400 strands per minute. After weaving, they burn off vegetal matter, such as straw fragments. Then they dye and dry the fabric. All wool fabrics undergo finishing to give them a particular appearance and feel. These spiked rollers created a plush finish. Wool fabrics can also have a sheared or flat finish.
Do you know that linen fabrics are made from the flax plant? Flax is the only natural fibre still being cultivated on a large scale in Western Europe. The best flax plants are grown between Caen in France and Amsterdam in Holland, where climatic conditions and soil are ideal. The growing cycle of the flax plant is short, with only 100 days between sowing in March and harvesting in July. The plant grows to an ideal height of approximately 4 feet. When close to maturity, the flax plant blooms, dotting the fields with blossoms of violet, blue or white. Each flax flower blooms only one day. The flax plant is harvested in July. To preserve the full potential of each plant, flax is never cut but must be uprooted, as the flax fibres are not only in the stem of the plant but also in the roots. Harvesting is done by mechanical grubbers who pull and lay the flax plant on the fields. During the retting process, flax is exposed to moisture to break down the pectins that bind the fibres together in the stem. The flax is spread out on the fields, exposed to rain, dew and sunshine for several weeks. At this stage, the fibre is getting its unique natural colour by the interaction of the flax with the soil, the rain and the sun. The flax plant is being turned regularly in order to dry and get an even retting process. When flax is retted and dry, it's removed from the fields in large bales. Scutching and hackling are the following mechanical steps in the production process. Flax fibres are separated from the stem. The raw flax fibres are combed and transformed in several steps into a very fine fibre, ready to be spun into flax yarns. Short fibres are called tow, long fibres line. Europe produces close to 200,000 tonnes of flax, grown on 200,000 acres of land. During the spinning process, the flax fibres are spun into yarns of various weights and thicknesses. The fine yarns are wet spun to get a smooth and shiny appearance. The shorter yarns are spun dry or half wet, giving a more structured and coarse aspect. Bobbins with flax yarns are being delivered as weft and warp yarns to the linen weavers. Before any weaving occurs, linen yarns are examined for strength, evenness and colour. Once certified, they can be integrated in the weaving process.
If you live in Tennessee, you've probably passed a cotton field a time or two. You may have admired its beautiful foliage in the summer, or been stunned by its snow-white brilliance in the fall. But have you ever thought about how this field of cotton impacts you? You probably realize that your t-shirts, shorts, or blue jeans are made from cotton. But what about the cereal you had for breakfast, or the potato chips you plan to snack on later? Well, believe it or not, they come from cotton too. In fact, many products on grocery store shelves are made with oils extracted from the cotton seed. So are many soaps and cosmetics. And that cash you buy these products with comes from cotton as well. In reality, it's almost impossible to make it through a day without using this product. Cotton has been cultivated for more than 5,000 years. Once a wild plant, our ancestors soon realized its tremendous value and developed cotton as a crop. Producing cotton was very labor-intensive, and until the 1950s was mostly done by hand. But with more and more people demanding cotton and fewer acres available to grow it, the old days of horse plowing and hand picking fell to the wayside. In today's market, farmers must be more efficient than ever. That means using state-of-the-art machinery, advanced technology, and application of up-to-date scientific research. Each spring, Tennessee farmers begin the complex process of producing cotton. As you will see, providing Tennesseans with food and clothing is a big effort. Come along on cotton's journey. Cotton is one of the biggest cash crops in Tennessee, and each year between 300,000 to 700,000 acres are sown. In return, cotton pumps more than $3 billion into the state economy. Tennessee farmers begin cotton planting every April. Because of cotton's long growing season, and since Tennessee is on the northern end of the cotton belt, it benefits the state's farmers to plant early in the year. But growers must be sure the soil is warm enough to germinate the seed. The development of cotton varieties that mature earlier has been extremely helpful to the state's producers. Today, UT Ag Research scientists continually evaluate varieties that will be more profitable for farmers and help Tennessee cotton stay competitive in the world market. After planting, a farmer can by no means sit back and relax until harvest time. While the cotton plant grows, farmers must work to keep their fields free from weeds, bad insects, and disease. Weeds will compete for water, light, and minerals, and if not managed, can choke out a cotton crop. Insects and diseases can also cause major damage if not properly managed. UT Ag Research scientists continually evaluate weed, insect, and disease control methods, and UT Extension specialists and agents help area farmers prepare for these threats to their crop. At several weeks of age, the healthy cotton plant will begin to form flowers. The flower will first appear white or yellow in color. The next day, it will turn red. And the next day, it will fall off, leaving behind a small boll in its place. Farmers often refer to this phenomenon as white, red, and dead. Over the next few weeks, this boll will grow until it finally bursts open, exposing raw cotton fibers to dry in the sun. As the plant's leaves dry and defoliate, a cotton farmer is surrounded by a sea of white. This means it's time to harvest. When cotton was hand-picked, a good picker could harvest about 200 pounds in a day. Today's mechanical pickers can harvest 200 pounds in 90 seconds. These pickers use rotating spindles to pick or twist the cotton from the burr. Then a high-velocity stream of air blows the cotton to the basket. Many cotton pickers are now equipped with yield monitors and global positioning systems. This technology allows the cotton yield to be continually monitored and helps farmers determine areas of the field where seed or fertilizer rates should be adjusted to get the best results. After cotton is picked, it is dumped from the picker to a boll buggy. Then the cotton picker returns to the field. During harvest time, it is important that the picker spend every available second picking cotton. The boll buggy travels to a module builder to dump its load. Once cotton is dumped into the module builder, it is packed into a dense block. The tighter the module is compacted, the better it sheds rainfall from the sides, and the less seed cotton is lost during storage and transportation. The module is also covered with a specially designed tarp for additional protection from weather elements. Once the tarp is in place, the module is released. 8 feet wide, 8 feet tall, and 32 feet long, the traditional module will weigh in at 20,000 pounds. More recent advances in technology look to further increase efficiency by eliminating the boll buggy and module builder. It's called an onboard module building cotton picker and was initially designed by Tennessee farmer Jimmy Hargett. The module picker harvests at about the same pace, but it builds a cotton module while it picks. It takes less time to unload a module building picker than to empty cotton from a traditional basket, which allows the picker to spend more time harvesting cotton. This technology can dramatically reduce labor and equipment costs for farmers. However the module is built, it is then tagged to identify producer and farm number. Specially designed trucks using synchronized chain movement gently load the cotton and then haul it from the field to the local gin. The purpose of cotton ginning is to separate the cotton lint from the cotton seed. At the gin, the modules are placed on a feeder. The feeder removes any trash like grass or leaves on the bottom of the module. A machine also removes sticks and burrs from the cotton before it reaches very fine-toothed saws that separate the lint from the seed. The seed goes to a crusher to extract the oil that will go into a variety of food products, from crackers to salad dressing. The meal that is left over once the oil is extracted goes into animal feed. When it comes to cotton, nothing is wasted. Meanwhile, the lint goes through lint cleaners before it reaches the condenser and ultimately the gin press. The cotton is compacted into a 500-pound bale. This single bale could make more than 300 dresses or more than 1,200 t-shirts. Eventually, the bales from this gin will be shipped to textile mills and then transformed into products you want to buy. This cotton bale will eventually be worn, slept on, and wrapped around hundreds of people. Cotton may start as a single seed, but in the course of a year, it is transformed into hundreds of products we use every day. From its origin in a Tennessee field, it will journey around the world and back again. As Tennesseans, we can take pride in this homegrown renewable resource, as well as the growers who work hard to produce it, and the researchers who strive to make it better. The next time you drive by a cotton field, remember the many uses of this crop and its significance to our world. After all, that is the fabric of our lives out there.